Woo!
There you go.
Woo, there we go. So for those of you that are newer to the group, I am Carolyn Bauer, and I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones. So people ask me what I do, because financial advisor can be overwhelming. So I think that I have the best job ever, because every day I get to help people make impactful decisions that positively affect their lives. So I get to help them recognize their goals and put a plan in place to achieve those goals. And then I get to celebrate when they make those goals. So I have the best job. So because most of us here are business owners in some sense or another, I thought it would be, Rob and I had talked about the CARES Act and information on that. So I do have a lot of resources to the CARES Act. So today I'm just going to go through a couple of the slides here that speak to the CARES Act and the different programs. Okay, so bear with me here. Okay, so the CARES Act was designed to provide economic stabilization and financial relief for those affected by COVID-19. So the small business owner provisions help businesses to cover critical operating costs and to provide some tax relief. So one of those provisions is the Paycheck Protection Program. It provides federally guaranteed loans to small businesses to cover their operating expenses for 24 weeks. So significantly, these loans, they may be forgiven fully, even the interest, if we can show that they're used for payroll costs or mortgage interest, rent, utilities, while maintaining your payroll during a crisis. The CARES Act originally allocated $350 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, and the funds were exhausted within 3 weeks. So they have provided or authorized an additional $310 billion. Okay. So we also have the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the EIDLS. So this expands the eligibility for access to the economic injury disaster loans to entities that existed as of the 31st, 2020. So had to be in business then. So any of those who have suffered substantial economic injury, it applies to businesses with 500 employees or fewer, including tribal businesses, cooperatives, ESOPs, and any individual operating as a sole proprietorship or an independent contractor during the COVID period. So the Paycheck Protection Program and the Healthcare Enactment Act, they clarify that agricultural businesses with 500 employees or fewer can also access loans from the program. So I don't know if we've got any farmers here, but you might have friends that are, and then were unaware that they had access to this. Okay. The Act also has authorized an additional $60 billion in funding for the EIDL, including $10 billion in emergency grants. Okay. So it also incorporates paid sick leave, family, and medical leave. So if you have fewer than 50 employees, you might be exempted from the requirement to provide leave under both programs. But for most businesses that have 50 to 500 employees, you are required to provide medical leave. And so this is an additional requirement, additional time off that protects the employee. It covers them for the additional time, sick time. Okay. And then like this one, this next act provides refundable payroll tax credit. So for every $5,000 per eligible employee for businesses impacted by COVID, the employer will get the credit. Okay. Employers who receive loans through the Paycheck Protection Program, however, are not eligible for the employee retention tax credit. Let's see. All right. And then on to the deferral of payment of employer payroll taxes. So Social Security, the tax can be deferred. So the Act permits employers and self-employed individuals to defer payments of the employer's share of the Social Security tax incurred from the 27th of March of this year all the way through to the end of the year, December 31st, 2020. Deferred taxes must be repaid over 2 years, with half of the amount due on the 31st of December 2021 and the remainder by December 31st of 2022. So if you defer payments of Social Security taxes, this may also defer when you can deduct those taxes. Just need to keep an eye on that one. And then some additional economic relief measures for businesses include enabling immediate tax deductions for the cost of qualified improvements to property, relaxes the limitation on your use of your net operating losses, and then relaxes the limitation on the amount of interest expense that you're permitted to deduct, accelerates your ability to recover alternative minimum tax credits, and increases the charitable deduction limit from 10% to 25% of your taxable income. So it's important to note that certain provisions described cannot be used in conjunction with others. So as you can see on this screen, there's two different benefits, right? The PPL, and then the EIDL, and then the tax credit. So this little graph talks you through what you can and cannot use. And I'm glad to share those with anybody. So should you have any individual questions, I'm glad to do a one-on-one or have a discussion with you. Just let me know what works best for you, because obviously that's just a very highlighted view of the different acts that have been enabled to help us all as business owners to get through. And initially, this was just set up for a few weeks, but as this dragged on and the money disappeared really quickly, the government has extended those guidelines and the amount of money. So specific questions, obviously, it's important to clue in whoever does your taxes, whether it's a tax advisor or somebody who does your book, a bookkeeper, and I can work with them so that we can make sense of it for you. But they should be able to help you on a specific one-on-one basis. I do work with some CPAs in the area, and I've been able to provide them with a lot of the information. Edward Jones has got a great resource center, so I'm glad to share any resources that I have with anybody. Just reach out and ask me, and I'll send you whatever I have. We'll talk about it and see what fits you, and that way I'm not just sending you generic, I'm sending you something that actually helps you.